G'day there and welcome back to the $100,000 to $1 million challenge. It's been one heck of a market overall, and then in this video I'll talk about how it feels to reach the $250,000 milestone together with the latest on the Lybra Finance death spiral. Please note that the information contained in this video is not financial advice and is purely for entertainment purposes. In today's video I'll take a look at what it's like to reach the $250,000 milestone, an overall look at the market, all the latest on Lybra Finance, the buys and sells that I've made since the last video, what I think is the best altcoin chart that I've seen so far this year, and I'll finish it off with a look at the portfolio today. If you find value in the video, please help the channel out either by liking the video or subscribing to the channel. All trades that I take are logged in the Discord channel, and you'll find my full portfolio in there too. So to begin with, reaching the $250,000 milestone. Now, it is nice to reach, but as I'm saying here, it is just a milestone. As we know, crypto is very volatile. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and there's every chance that I dip below $250,000 again. Having said all this, it is nice though to know that after being this challenge for over 12 months, going on 13-14 months, that there's been good progress made. Ultimately, my focus is on reaching the $1 million, which is the goal of this challenge. I've got just under 2 years to get there, and that's my ultimate goal. I guess also reaching this milestone does tell me that I have believed in myself for this whole challenge. There's been a lot of ups, there's been a lot of downs, but irrespective of the number, the key is that I need to stay engaged, I need to stay focused, I need to stay disciplined. There's going to be a lot of counterparty risk out there, and that's often one of the main ways that these things can go poorly, and so I just need to make sure that I manage my risk and stay very disciplined and stick to the plan. In terms of how the portfolio has progressed, it was tough going at the start here. A little bit of up, a little bit of down. After this, I think this is kind of like the ETH merge. Really almost came back to the starting position, and then in October, that's when we took off over the last month. This low point here was the spot Bitcoin ETF launch, and since then it's really just taken off to where we are now at over 285. Looking at what's really got me to this $250,000 milestone, I mean, I've got a picture of Larry Fink here because I'm here a lot earlier than I thought I would be. I did believe I would get here, and I've always believed I'd get to $1 million, but I'm here a lot earlier than I thought I would be because of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. But just having a quick look, I mean, paid has really done gangbusters for this challenge, picking it up at 1.2 cents, a lot of buys in the 2 cent region, 4 cents, picked up some more in the 20s, I think 21.5 cents around about there. That's been obviously the biggest gainer for this portfolio. Ethereum and Bitcoin, no problems there, and of course great that I can borrow against them as well so that I can leverage up a little bit. Then we've got Certify, of course, Sovereign, which has really done really well recently. I have taken my initial out for a lot of these things, such as Sovereign, such as Paid, such as Say, such as Shido, such as Asta. Something like Maple, I don't own any of it, but this is probably actually my best trade where I was able to get in just as a broker of consolidation, and I actually sold everything at the top, so that's one of my better plays so far for the challenge. In terms of the market outlook, in the last video, a fortnight ago, I said that we were looking pretty heavy here in terms of the short term. Well, how wrong was I? Look at this thing, it's just gone absolutely insane, and all the indicators indicate that we are really overstretched. However, these ETF inflows are literally insane, and I'll talk about it in a second, but there's no change to my plan. Largely, I just have to sit on my hands long term. So this is the Bitcoin ETF inflows. So on January 10th on the launch, Grayscale had a bunch of Bitcoin, everyone else was just starting out. And in the, let's say like 35 days, just over 35 days since the launch, we've added 101,000 Bitcoin, if you can believe that. And if you look at the most recent days, plus 10,000, plus 6,000, plus 12,000, plus 10,000. I mean, the miner rewards are 900 Bitcoin per day. And when the halving comes, it's going to be 450 Bitcoin per day. So the supply and demand imbalances here are just really something to behold. Which brings me back to this gold ETF approval chart, which I showed a few months ago. And you can see that, for gold, 1989 to, let's say, 2004, what's that? That's a long time, right? That's 15 years of just nothing. And then, see you later. For someone like me who's been largely in crypto, I think understanding institutional money flow, understanding what the effect of this is going to be, it's a little bit hard for me. I'm already, with the price action at the moment, I'm quite speechless. I'm not great at accurate predictions, other than I'm very confident price is going to go up. How high? I don't know, but it's definitely going to go up. And I've got my ears to the ground and listening very carefully for experts to see, how high are we actually going to go based on these institutional inflows. Okay, back to good old Lybra Finance. And so I just wanted to touch on this again, just to kind of wrap it up a bit, because I did get quite a bit of feedback from last video. This is the EUSD peg, which is their premier stablecoin. And, over here, it held the peg pretty well in version 1. In fact, it was a little bit above peg for a period of time there, and I was super happy with it. I was so happy with it that I was really confident in the project, and I went big in it. By big, I mean like about 5% of my portfolio at the time. Now, since the version 2 launch, as you can see, it's just been absolute carnage here, a little bit of bounce here. 91.83 cents. It's just not what you want for a quote-unquote stablecoin. Now, PEUSD is the same coin, but multi-chain. Pretty much the same price action, okay? And if we go to DeFi Lybra and look at the total value locked in the Lybra Finance protocol version 2, this is where we just migrated from version 1 to version 2, and I was really I was ecstatic with this increase in TVL at this point in time. Then of course, once we got depegged, it's just been steadily down, absolute crash here, and we're still heading down. And as I said in the previous video, with this depeg, there's limited incentive for people to stake their ETH, borrow against it. And in fact, the opposite happens, is that when the peg is like this, borrowers are incentivized to repay their loans, and that's what I did. I had, I think I had 10 ETH in there, and I borrowed against it, and because the peg was below 0.9, it was a great opportunity for me to go and repay my loan. The biggest problem, though, of course, is that the team continues to say that the peg is working. This is the intended behavior. It's blatantly obvious to me that it's not the intended behavior. It's super disappointing. In the last video, someone did ask me, do I think that Lybra will recover? And I wrote that I reckon there's like a 33.3% chance that this is going to work, that the devs will eventually either roll back to V1 or fix up the new mechanisms that they've put into V2 so that the peg does restore. That's all this project needs, is for the peg to restore, and it's actually a great project, a great paradigm. It ticks a lot of use cases that need to be satisfied. And if that was the case, then this would be a great buying opportunity. But then there's a 2/3 chance, in my opinion, that this is the end. We're just going to get a slow bleed at this point, and the devs are just going to move on to new projects. And the biggest problem is that the devs are silent. You can go on the Discord. I've been in there. There's nothing. There's just nothing from the devs. There's one person on the team who very irregularly will just say something like, oh yeah, the peg's working as intended. This is the intention. It's all fine. But ultimately, when you have this kind of situation where you have a broken product, it was working before, no one's has any motivation within the team to fix the product. It has all the signs of a rug, to be honest. And so, while I put in 5%, that was for a reason as well. That was to manage my risk. And so, at this stage, it's not something that I'm counting on, and more than happy to just say that I gave it a go and it didn't work out. Moving on to happier themes, the chart of the year so far. Now, I haven't bought this. I've been trying to buy this desperately. I've been chasing it. I don't like chasing. I don't have any in the books at the moment. So this is me saying to you that I think this is the best chart I've seen this year. If you look at this chart, okay, you have the IDO up here. Obviously, you have a massive sell-off. Broke the bottom. Then we've got higher highs, higher lows, and then we've got a nice retest of key support here, and it's pretty much looking like it's going to form, to me, a long-term base of a inverted head and shoulders, which is insane bullish. I mean, this is just the best chart that when I saw this chart, I just kind of said to myself, what is this? Holy mackerel, is it like a legit project? And it is. So I've been chasing this thing the whole way up, still haven't got filled. I hate chasing. I am going to wait for a retrace, and if I don't get in, I don't get in. But in terms of like a long-term view of this chart, it's the best chart that I've seen so far this year. And so what is it? LayerAI. Originally, I think it was called Crypto GPT. But essentially, what it is an L2, okay? A ZK rollup L2. And if you think of allowing people to browse the web, their data is then packaged and sold to train AI models. That's what this whole thing is encompassing. So it's almost like a BitTensor competitor. Okay. Now the thing is that in terms of narratives, you're hitting the AI narrative. You've got the Ethereum ETF coming. So you've got a layer 2 here. You've got the Denkun upgrade coming, which is going to make layer 2s way cheaper. You've got that narrative here. It hits so many narratives. And this is the chart. It's just insane, okay? Looking at the vesting, it's not great. So where are we? We're in February 24. So we've got like a 3x of vesting to come over the next little couple of years. So, it's pretty terrible. However, you've got Larry Fink just spruiking Bitcoin everywhere. You've got Fidelity. You've got all the big funds pushing Bitcoin at this point in time. Like, you can kind of largely ignore this massive vesting. It's not great, but given everything that's happening in the market at the moment, it's not something that I'm concerned with at all. And if we look at the IDO, it was on DAOmaker, it was on WePad, 0.5 cent, and we're only just over a 3x over the IDO price at this point in time. FDV 47 million. It literally ticks every box. I'm not in at the moment. I'm desperate to get in, and we'll see how we go. Hopefully, there's a little bit of a retrace here somehow. I'm not sure how, but hopefully there's a retrace here somehow. I can get myself in and I can be happy. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, since the last video, I've only bought one thing, which is I got a small allocation into ChronoForge, which is Rift. I only got $71 in. Really hard one to get in. I've been trying a few different ways, but it is what it is. In terms of sells, I did sell all of my reach at a huge loss, and then literally the day after I sold, it tripled in price and went back to what I bought it at. But that's just how it goes sometimes, and I just needed that money because I was trying to get into some IDOs. I was actually trying to sell my reach to buy more ChronoForge. Missed out on the ChronoForge, so I have more stables. In terms of what's upcoming, what I'm excited about, Subquery, they have their token generation event in a couple of days, February 22nd. I'm super excited about that. I got the full $3,000 in the IDO, and it's 100% unlocked at TGE. I think this is going to do really well. I mean, it's coming out with an FDV of 120 million. If you look at something like the graph, I think that's close to 2 billion FDV at this point in time. I think it might be better than the graph. I don't know. I certainly don't know, but certainly the narrative is there, and so I'm really excited about that. And then Aether Games will launch, there'll be an IDO for it on paid on February 26th. I've already picked up $2,500 of this through Nexus Gaming, through their IDO, and it's the same terms on paid. So I'm not, it's not like I have to get into this because I've already got some and I've got a reasonable amount. But apparently Aether Games are meant to make an announcement very soon in terms of a huge partnership they have. So if that does come out and it's a massive partnership, then I will look to get my full allocation on paid. If not, I'll kind of have to evaluate and see. Okay, the portfolio today, 285, 187, pretty good. I mean, really good in terms of where we're expected to be at this point in the challenge. All the usuals at the top here. Let's go to page 2. Page 2 Duckdale. I've got about 45 days until I can unstake it without penalty. I cannot wait to unstake and get rid of this thing. It's just, I just haven't enjoyed it at all. T has been pretty stagnant. Manta, a bit surprising, hasn't done better than this, but it is what it is. Just going down, I'm glad I rebought into Immutable and had strong hands on that because it's done really well. Same with Neutron, it had some dips in there, but I've just held on strong and it's done really well. The graph finally coming to life, even Ultra getting a kick after Becca had it highlighted it in his last video. What have we got over here? Asta, I wish I bought more of this. There's nothing, at the same time I'm happy I did buy it. I've taken out my initial, but this is such a good project. Poor old LBR down here, very, very sad. And then just little bits and pieces down here. So that brings us to the end of the video. I'm aiming to be back in another fortnight's time, so until then, let's always be looking for an edge. Take care until next time, and thanks for watching the $100,000 to $1 million challenge.